What if the reason we're suddenly talking about Venezuela's oil and Iran's oil is because American shale oil might peak within the next decade? Because if U.S. oil production stops growing, the entire global energy system changes. For the past 15 years, American shale oil transformed the global energy system. New drilling technology unlocked massive oil production in places like the Permian Basin, the Bakken, and Eagle Ford. U.S. oil production surged from about 5 million barrels per day in 2008 to more than 13 million barrels per day today. That's the largest production increase by any country in modern history. And it helped create the idea that America had finally achieved energy independence. But shale isn't like traditional oil fields. Shale wells decline extremely fast, sometimes 60% in the first year alone, which means the entire system depends on constant drilling just to maintain production. Think of shale less like a giant oil field and more like a manufacturing process that never stops. Now analysts are beginning to ask a new question. What happens when the best drilling locations start running out? Government projections suggest U.S. oil production could peak sometime in the late 2020s. Some estimates point to around 2027. Others suggest the early 2030s. But the bigger point is this: the era of explosive shale growth may be ending. And when a major energy system stops expanding, global politics tends to change. Because here's something most people don't realize. The countries with the largest oil reserves in the world are not the United States. They're places like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq. In other words, the largest oil reserves sit in regions that are politically unstable, sanctioned, or strategically contested. So if U.S. production growth slows down, foreign oil suddenly becomes more strategically important again. Closing thought. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean every geopolitical conflict is about oil. But energy systems shape global strategy far more than most people realize. And history shows something interesting. The last time American oil production peaked, back in 1970, the decade that followed was dominated by Middle East oil crises. So here's the real question. If the shale revolution is approaching its peak, are we entering another era of oil geopolitics? Because the future of energy often shapes the future of world politics, and the next decade may tell us exactly how.